So have you had a good week in Destiny this week?
I've had a great week in Destiny. It hasn't been long, but it's been successful.
Well, that's always a good start.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Two Titans and a Hunter Destiny 2 podcast, a show dedicated to bringing you the latest intel, the mightiest news, and the boldest opinions from the farthest reaches of the Sol system. Whether you're a bright-eyed new Guardian, fresh from the Cosmodrome, or a battle-hardened veteran of the Red War, this is your Destiny destination. We'll arm you with tips, tricks, and tower-worthy tools to help you triumph, thrive, and revel in the glory of the fight. So without further ado, let's get on with the show.
So welcome to the show. Nitedemon and Peroty are here to tell you all the cool Destiny stuff, all the bad Destiny stuff, and all the stuff in between. That's what we're here for.
Yep.
Good old
and a little bit of mid-Destiny
and
stuff.
Mid, yeah. So has it been a good Destiny, a mid-Destiny, or a low Destiny this week for you?
It's been a good Destiny because, I just haven't had that much time to play, which is less good. But what I've played, honestly, I've played Crucible and I've played Gambit this week and finished gilding my Gambit title because, honestly, that's fun. You go in and you press the button and you play a match and you don't have to think about anything else. You don't have to figure out which irritating modifier is going to be on. You don't have to click through 16 little boxes. You just press the button and go. Yeah. And I tried to do a Widow's Court this week, and we got most of the way through. And then we got down to one revive, and of course that's always just a fraught of how many things does this person need to kill to get another revive? That's one thing like 1,000 other parts of this game, I wish were just clear. Person just like laying waste to the ogres and laying waste to these everything else, and just like, okay, like how many things do you have to kill to get a revive? Do you ever get a revive? Like you cleared this boss room. Does not bring us back to life for the next wave? No, it does not. So I did a little bit of that and just did a little bit of fire team ops and just ran a couple of things. Just said, oh, right, it's bonus drops this week, so you're going to give me a bunch more of things. So I just ran a couple of those and threw the armor in the vault because I just haven't really been collecting the armor at all. So I was like, let me throw some of this in the vault and make, think about making some builds with it later on. But no, I've had a good time because I just haven't been stressing about it, haven't been worrying about it, and haven't played the which 17 modifiers do I have to put on game. Did look at what Zavala had to sell this week because I was like, you have something. I don't know what it is. It can't be anything great because no one's been like, oh my god, he's got this week. So it's a sword.
Or is it because there are no content creators doing that anymore?
That could also
be either or.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, 50-50 shot. Zur, though, is a gigantic troll who I can confirm because there is a content creator still doing those videos, aka Fallout. And guess what Zur brought us this week? The one weapon we could have maybe asked for last week. He absolutely did. Zur said, remember that week that Quick Quang was broken? And it would have been amazing if he would have sold it on that weekend so everybody could have picked one up. Zur brought Quick Fang this week. Just to troll everybody. So I'm not saying don't pick up the Quick Fang just in case. But, if you didn't have one previously, pick one up. Just have it maybe next time they decide to wildly break something, you can benefit. Which I just thought was lovely.
I'm not sure if it's me or if it's you, but you keep roboting out.
I'm going to guess you. I mean, you sound perfectly fine to me.
Okay.
But that doesn't necessarily... Yeah, I mean, my ping is 3 milliseconds and my packet loss is 0.
Yeah, I'm at 90 milliseconds, but as we know, that's hardly anything.
Right.
It's been fine for weeks, and then it has one of its, I'm not going to play ball this week. Oh, yep. Well, we'll continue. It is what it is.
It is. Yeah, so what have you gotten up to this week? Have you gotten up to much this week?
Well, I was going to stream some trials this week, but then I decided I'm just going to, record the gameplay and not stream this week. So that's what I did on Tuesday. Yeah, it was Tuesday because it was trials. So I played quite a few games and got to the lighthouse pretty quick. And then Noble was on, and he was like messaged me and said, "Oh, what are you doing?" And we got chatting, and then I was like, let's meet up. Let's go into trials. Big mistake, huge mistake.
That was your ploy to get him back.
Well, no, he was already on doing some like solo stuff, and I was like, let's go and play some trials, because I had faith that maybe that it wasn't as bad as it's previously been. If you're kind of in a fire team, that there may be some. No, there wasn't. It was just downhill from the get go, to the point where, I mean, we didn't win a game, but to the point that our own teammate decided to message. He put in the text chat, and I don't have the text chat up because I hate just having that all on the screen all the time.
And it's impossible to reply to on a console, basically. So
yeah, but because Noble's on a PC, he gets it all the time. That was our first mistake, going into PC lobbies with trials.
Right, yeah. Forgot about that.
Second mistake was Charles, but yeah, he got messages basically calling us, both of us, bots, that we were just useless from our own teammate. I was like, oh. And I said to Noble, I said, but if the shoe was on the other foot and he was on the opposite team, he would have loved playing against us, because it would have just been, this is a win. It's like you just can't win these days. It's just like we're in here to have some fun. We got teabagged quite a lot, and it's like, for a game that is inherently doing bad at the moment, their own player base aren't helping the situation with kind of not encouraging people to play, and then getting teabagged in a match. It was like, oh. And I was like, okay, we'll come out of this, and let's go do something like competitive or something. You know, it's a step down, but it's also, we'll be placed at a level that we can both kind of play at. But I think both of us got called away at that point.
Yeah, it truly is like, are you having a bad time? Do you want to have a worse time? Meet the Destiny community. They're going to treat you the absolute worst, and then wonder
not all of them, but
no, not all of them, but just like. Yeah, it really is wild. Like I went into trials with Blue and Banana Ham the other week. Who Banana Ham is actually a decent trials player. Like he I can tell sort of understands, maps and callouts and how to use a hand cannon properly. And Blue and I are of course, maybe middlingly useless at best. But we actually won a string of games, and I think some of it was like legitimately we were playing while all the good trials players were at school or at work or something. but then like we got to a point where it was like, oh no, now we're playing against, because we were playing with people with loadouts like we were running, like, decent, but not like super meta trials, 50,000 kills on this weapon.
Yeah.
And then we met them quickly, and then it was all over from there. But it's like we had some success and some fun, and then quickly it was just like, okay, that's why we're not here. Like pretty good. I mean, like decent experiences overall. Like not super toxic. We're gonna teabag you every 6 seconds, because nothing. I have a high capacity to go lose over and over and over. I have a low capacity to do that if I'm getting teabagged constantly or getting sent messages constantly. It's like there's no quicker way to run me out of that lobby than just being outwardly toxic. Like if you're good, be good. Like fine. Emote on me, dance on me, fine, whatever. If you're going to teabag and just be, that level of child toxic, no, you can go play, I'll leave, and you can go play against all the other good players and sweat. There you go. My gift to you. I did get called a cheater in Gambit, of all things, this week, and I'm going, sir, no one is cheating in Gambit in 2025. Like, I went back and looked, I'm not even the top of the leaderboard. It wasn't one of those games where I got like 70 kills or anything on, in PvE. Like I didn't even do anything. I think I invaded like once and killed one person. I'm like, what? Why me? Like, or did you just, send my entire team a message? Like it wasn't even a game where we, like, there've been a couple games where like people have left, or maybe they are just botting or something. I don't know. You can do a good number of your like weekly challenges, like, getting kills and generating orbs, those work in Gambit. I was actually surprised to see anything in the portal showing up like, hey, you've done things from playing something not in the portal. So it's like you can do a decent number of those things. Obviously, you can't get a B or higher or any of that stuff, but you can do a number of those challenges by just going and playing the game, having fun.
Yeah, and that's the problem, is that even Crucible's kind of pushing you to play solo. I found that I had not dissing Noble or dissing Trials, playing against people, but I found that playing solo, it seems to be the best way to enjoy the game at the moment, and that wasn't always the way. That shouldn't be the way. But I played a comp game, and I completely stomped the other team. It was really bad. I mean, I'm only in a placement match, but I stomped the other team, and I thought, oh, this is amazing. I played Trials, and we were winning quite a lot of matches and a lot of games, and I felt really good that I was matching up against people that have my own skill with my own skill, and then just being able to compete. And the same in even playing Control this week, but it really shouldn't be that way. I just as soon as you start jumping with teams, everything in the game becomes like a chore or becomes a headache. It's like you go and play Trials as a team or even as twos, and that's a headache, because unless one of you or both of you are really good, there's no point. There really is no point. If you go and play anything in the portal, it's like, what's the point? You're just being hit with modifier after modifier, and then you don't know how many modifiers and buffs and debuffs to stack, so that at least, unless you're both at the same kind of power, that you're kind of going to get the rewards.
Yeah,
it's a strange world that we're living in at the moment with Destiny.
Yeah, and just and I can't remember, because I watched a couple of videos this week, and I can't remember. I want to say it was maybe Scaro 9, but it'll be in one of the videos I'm sure we put links to, but I can't remember who it was. Yeah. Basically, just like the decision fatigue of having to play this game, and not, honestly, like, that's why I've played Crucible and Gambit this week, because I could go in and say, let's play this. Let me load up Control, which I had very, very mixed experiences with. Again, just going in solo, but just, man, some of those lobbies were fine, and some of them were just, the top 4 people on the other team all have a 2.0 to 4.0 KD, and the top person on my team has a 0.8 KD. This is this seems right. So I mean, again, like, I'm not going to belabor matchmaking in Destiny, because that's been a problem since the game existed. But yeah, like, that's why I've just gone and played things where I could say, let me play this and just play it. I don't have to look and choose and pick, and I don't want to have to go through 6 levels of menus to understand what I'm doing. I just want to hit the button and load into a playlist and play my game and have fun.
Yeah. I mean, I did do a couple of solo things, and I was doing what Cheese was recommending to do, with like just putting on stakes rather than kind of leaning into the debuffs or the modifiers that kind of ramped up the enemy's power. And it was nice to kind of just go in. I mean, I did have to put, if I wanted to get like +3 in power, I had to put on a Bane on to give the enemies +20. So it wasn't as bad as what people have been making it out to be, like, oh, I've got to be -60. So it felt nice to kind of just be able to go in there and just, again, playing solo, but being able to kind of get something out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like we've talked about, I mean, the last few weeks. It's just the shrinking of the game into the portal, and basically forcing everything into a solo playlist. It's just, that's now just the most efficient way to do everything, which is just disappointing.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's going to get better. That's my hope, that it is going to get better. And funny enough, just before coming on the show, I was watching a video that Lucky 10p made only a couple of hours ago, and it was entitled Kill It All, and I think it was his reaction to a video that somebody made about Bungie. And they kicked off their video with a perfect analogy of Bungie, with the Ship of Theseus example. That's basically what Bungie is these days. And I'm like, I get that reference, and only because WandaVision, basically.
Yeah. So I mean, basically, Theseus went on a long journey, and he had a ship. As the journey went on, things would break on the ship, so they replaced a piece. After years and years and miles and miles of journey, the ship came back. But was it the same ship that left? Because it's like it's still his ship. It's still Theseus' ship. But basically, every part of that ship has been replaced or upgraded or changed or repaired in some way. So while he left with a ship and came back with a ship, is it still the same ship? Because you've replaced every part of that ship, and that's sort of what we have with Bungie is Bungie still exists, but you replace so many pieces of Bungie. Yeah, it's still Bungie on the label, but is it the same Bungie that when we started this journey? And no, it's not.
Yeah, it's not the same Bungie that
at least
that was Halo that created Halo
Yeah.
that then went on to do Destiny, that then went on to do Destiny 2 to the point where we're at now. There may be a few pieces that might still be there from previous. That content creator, I couldn't find the name of the video that he actually. I don't think Lucky put it in his description. I didn't watch it to the end. I was only like the first 5-10 minutes. He was kind of analyzing this video that somebody made, and I think it was more about Marathon. But they started talking about Bungie to start off with, and I was like, oh, I wonder who created that video, because I want to kind of quote them in the podcast, because that's really interesting. That's how a lot of kind of outsiders see Bungie, and I mean, that they hit the nail on the head with it.
Yeah, it's a really interesting take. It's I mean, it's like any company over time, or anything over time. It's like it's the same thing. It's the same company, but the parts that make up that company are no longer what it was. Which is I mean, definitely for all the reasons that we've talked about and more, definitely the case.
But yeah, apart from that, I haven't played. I was trying to get my light up, but then only every now and then, kind of these increments by playing Crucible. And I thought, I want to do something that I'm enjoying playing, and I don't want to kind of just sit in Caldera or wherever just to get to 450. So I will just play. I'm going to play some Crucible, because that is something I actually enjoy doing. Taking in different weapons and just playing around with those. And I'm still using the Destiny Fun Police Lethal Abundance. That weapon has been amazing. And I know they turned off like one of the mods in Crucible, but I've been playing on my Warlock, and you can put one of the fragments on that will basically give you a chance to get a threadling to spawn when you're getting, I think, precision hits. So I put that on as well. So that kind of half negates them turning off the mod from the artifact. So I'm still running around with loads and loads of threadlings, and they're just so much fun to kind of help me. And that Lethal Abundance, I do change it up depending on the map, just because if it's like Widow's Court, I will put on my Fang of Ute, which is a bit more of a distancing with a scout rifle. And something else that I think Destiny Fun Police was recommended, I think I went over it last week, didn't I? He was recommending, or did I just tell Blue? Maybe it was something I told Blue. And it was the Rufus's Fury from the Root of Nightmares, I believe. That's where you get it from. I've got one to drop with rewind rounds, and it's got the paracausal affinity, which is final blows of energy type matching this weapon's alignment grant increased damage for a short period of time. So with putting that on, it's a strand weapon. So putting that on with my strand Warlock, I was just having so much fun, because I was getting an extra damage buff with that. And again, it did depend on the map. So I'm rotating between like Rufus's Fury, Lethal Abundance, and my Fang of EU. I did have a quick play around with the Quicksilver Storm, because again, that is a fast firing auto rifle, but I was having more fun with just like the legendaries rather than kind of the exotic.
It's not, because I have the same thought. It's not quite there. And I can't remember the history of the nerfs and buffs to it, but it's not quite as good as you think it might be.
Yeah, it should be, but it isn't. Yeah, I mean, I've just been running around with legendary weapons, and I feel like I'm doing myself a disservice, especially in trials. I'm like running 3 legendary weapons. I'm like, other people they're wearing exotics, they're running exotics. I've got 3 legendaries, and I'm like, but I'm having fun. And I know that the funny thing is that they're all old legendaries. There's nothing kind of new in there. I did get an Auric Disabler, which again is a strand auto rifle from Trials, and I got a really good one. I got one that had Tap the Trigger and Zen Moment with Flared Magwell and Arrowhead Break.
Oh, I'm jealous.
And it's at 450 RPM, and it is good. And yeah, I love the fact that I can put on something like sweaty confetti just as a fun thing that when I do get the kill, they turn into confetti.
Yeah.
And I'd love to do that on some of the legendary weapons that I'm running at the moment, but I can't because they're not in the new tiered system, and I can't do that.
Yeah, no, it just belaboring a point at this point, but that's honestly that's part of like I was looking over the portal, and again, the solo ops don't interest me, and so I go to fire team ops or I go to Crucible basically, unless I'm with people to do portical things, pinnacle things, because I'm not esoteric. I'm not going to run pinnacle things solo unless I'm trying to pick up data pads or something.
Yeah,
But yeah, just the weapons are just not interesting to me. Like I'm looking at them just going, oh, I could get this weapon that I've got 17 of, and I could get. It just really is just. I'm looking at what's available, and just like it feels like I've had the same handful of guns drop since Edge of Fate came out, and I'm just so tired of those guns. Yeah, like I've gone. I really like was trying to commit to. I'm going to play with new weapons. I'm gonna fully embrace a new system.
yeah,
I've pulled the hung jury out with the kinetic tremors and the firefly, and I've used that in a lot of stuff lately over any of the new. I mean, I have a tier 5 with jurisprudent with the rhyme, the rhyme sealer headstone roll, which is supposed to be pretty good. I just like these weapons are not as good as what I have, and there's just no now that there's less of a push to use the featured stuff. It's like, why am I using the new stuff when the old stuff is still better? Still feels more powerful and more fun to run.
yeah.
Yeah, and I sadly don't have the lethal abundance, but yeah, I pulled out what was which one? The Jorum's Claw from Iron Banner. I can't tell you how long ago, because I've got a Headseeker moving target roll, and that's lived on my Warlock for PvP forever. Pulled that back out with the crafted Fire Fright. With Fragile Focus and Adagio, that again, a creator told me to build again, whenever that came out months ago, and I was like, yep, built that using that, like paired those two together. I don't know what it is. Like I use them on the Titan and they don't feel the same. I use them on the Warlock and they just feel right. I can't explain it. I'm sure it's all just in my head, but just those two weapons in PvP running with like Child of the Old Gods, or now with Threadlings. Oh, the satisfaction of getting killed in trials, seeing somebody who, again, you lost that duel by just a hair, hiding behind the wall or the pole to get their health back, and you see that one little threadling go boom, jump on them and kill them and finish them off. Yep. There is nothing more satisfying. I understand, Bungie, why you turn them down. I get it. Oh, just the satisfaction, just the one or two times where I saw that happen and got the kill from it was just the most satisfying.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, I've been killed by a number of lethal abundances, especially when Iron Banner was up. Yeah, it's a good wear. It's a nice weapon. It's a good roll.
It was good to start off with, but yeah, I didn't really. I think when he first made the video, when it came around the first time, I grabbed the one that he said to get a roll of, and I just kept it. And then when it came back around, I was like, oh, I have got that roll, because he did tell me about that roll. But if I go and see if I can get a better roll, which I did, and I was like, I don't know why I didn't use this beforehand, because this just is amazing. I mean, it competes with a lot of things, and yeah, I'm just having so much fun with it. So
excellent. Yeah, I'm trying to live that new things life, but
yeah, there are a few new things. I say new things. The Mida mini tool has come back, and some of the rolls on those are really good. And Forgiveness came back with the sidearm in Trials, and it was overpowered, so they've kind of had to turn it down. I think they're turning it down again. The Ever-Burning Glitz auto rifle wants to be really good. I've got a couple of good rolls, not god rolls, but I've got good rolls on those. The Auric Disabler, again, was pretty good. But some of the things that Burden of Guilt, which is a fusion rifle that we've had before, that's kind of come back with just new perks. We've, Stars in Shadows pulse rifle come back with new perks. The Unwavering Duty has returned with new perks. It's like, okay, just yeah. So I'm glad that I hung on to quite a lot of my old stuff and haven't got rid of it, because I still enjoy using those things.
Yeah.
Armor, that's a different case.
Yeah, I was just saying, I have zero regrets about deleting any of the armor I've deleted because I really haven't gone back to any of it. Even the drawback to it, I was like, no, there's just no reason. There's just no reason to run the old armor. Even the the illegal build. Again, I'm the day one raider. Again, if you're doing super hard solo pinnacle end game stuff and you're really trying to get every last point, sure. If you're just trying to play this game and have fun, haven't thought about the old armor at all. Not even a little bit.
Well, I only have when I've put like builds together. If I've gone to like D2 Armor Picker and I'm like kind of trying to do a build and it says that I can get like 188 in weapons and class at 100 and a grenade at 100, and then it goes through all your stuff and it goes, right, you need these pieces, and sometimes it will pick old pieces that I've still got, and I'm like, okay, cool, that'll work. But apart from that, yeah, it's or maybe on my Titan, I still do have some of the builds that I had with my strongholds that I'm again still waiting for them to come back because they didn't do a patch this week. But I hear there's a patch coming up this next week, and again, because there's something else happening in the game, that's why they kind of scheduled it for then. But they could have told us that 2 weeks ago that we're not going to get a patch this week. So, but no, nothing this week. Next week,
had them dashed. Yeah, it's like, hey guys, remember this thing that you said we were going to do? Is that happening?
Well, they didn't give us a date. When we were talking about it last week,
fair.
I said they haven't given us a date, which normally means sometime in the next 2 weeks. And we should have put it together. We've got new content coming this Tuesday, so it's going to be this Tuesday because the following week they said that that's when the changes are coming to the portal. So,
yep. So this week we just didn't have a patch. We just had a TWAB, and we're just here.
Well, we might as well talk about the TWAB for the 2nd of October, 2025. So this week in Destiny, they're giving us some insight into new events, showing balance changes within PvP, and a sneak peek of the new exotic mission. And they're here to crown the winners of the Desert Perpetual World's first epic raid race. What I didn't realise is that we're not just going to give you an exotic mission this week. Oh no, we're going to stack it with another Arms Week. So we have Arms Week returning, and the focus this time is going to be with shotguns. Much like we had with previous Arms Weeks, I think we've only had one, haven't we? Yeah. And we had hand cannons the first time.
Yeah, just that first one. Was the first week of the game.
Yeah,
second week. Yeah, real early.
So you'll get an event home. You'll get like a reward track. You'll get challenges daily. There'll be weekly ones. Fill out your reward track. Get the weapons. Get the crafting materials. If there's an emblem, because they redid the emblem when they did the heavy metal. So there was another heavy metal emblem. So there might be another one for Arms Week. There'll also be a seal and title, and you can gild that. And yeah, we've got unstable mods that are going to be available for just shotguns, and you can put them in any legendary shotgun apparently. So we have unstable shells landing precision hits, or most of the pellet spread will attach a delayed explosion to the target. You've got illegal trigger. Every shell fired increases the rate of fire for a short time. Magazine size and reserves are increased beyond their normal limits. And then finally, we have aftershock. Final blows create a wave of energy behind the target. And I'm feeling that illegal trigger is going to be the way that everybody goes. Unless aftershock is something phenomenal, or even unstable shells is phenomenal. Illegal trigger sounds pretty cool because there was that shotgun a couple of weeks ago that was breaking the mold, wasn't it? And I can't remember the name of it. That everybody was after it because it was doing quicker firing than anything else. Do you remember the name of this one? I can't remember it off the top of my head.
I remember because it was like a.
I don't know if it was the macro or if it was a primary shotgun.
Yeah,
the primary one.
Traction.
I think it was the Trachinus. I think it was the Trachinus.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So it had an RPM originally of, I think was it 140? I've messed around with mine at the moment, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to look in the.
Okay. Oh yeah. Actually, I've got two in the vault. Yeah. So it's a rapid fire slug with a 90 RPM, or I have
that's it.
This one that's 140 RPM, depending.
Yeah. So 90 is the base, but yeah, if.
Okay. Yeah. So if it comes, yeah. So it looks like, again, this is my example of one. If I put tactical mag on it, it's got a 90 RPM, 66. I can't read it because it cuts off.
Yeah,
But then if I put Assault Mag on,
that's the one.
which increases plus 50 rounds per minute and 15 stability. So if you have one with Assault Mag, then it kicks up to 140 RPM.
Yeah,
So
and it's a rapid fire shotgun anyway. So imagine that with that mod on there, that's going to break that gun. There's going to be that's probably going to break Crucible as well. That's going to be turned off.
That's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Nowhere else, here first, and probably just the day before it comes out. So there you go.
Well, if no one else is left to tell you, you had to hear it from us. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Now, one thing I was going to bring up last week, but I completely forgot because we kind of went off on different tangents. It fits quite fittingly with Arms Week returning this upcoming week. Now, the first time that we did Arms Week, we had some weapons that are available on the the reward track, and they were I believe it was the hand cannon, wasn't it, and the shotgun, or was it the trace rifle? I think it was the trace rifle and it was the trace rifle, ribbon tail, and the hand cannon. And what made me laugh was that the ribbon tail that I got they were holofoil, and the same with the hand cannon as well. They were holofoil weapons that you can get from the reward track. Now, the one that you could get, and I saved it because it was a holofoil one. For mine, it came at 189 power, RPM of 1,000, impact of 6, and all the stats are kind of basic. But the perks on it: corkscrew rifling, light battery, proximity power, and surrounded, and they were all enhanced with a handling masterwork. And I was like, I'll keep that because it's a holofoil one. I don't know if I'll get another one. I've had a couple of them ever since. But the thing that annoyed me a couple of weeks ago, and I forgot to talk about it last week, was when Iron Banner came around, and Iron Banner offered the same weapons on the reward track rather than Iron Banner weapons. They gave you a ribbon tail, and they also gave you the hand cannon. And the ribbon tail that I got was exactly the same as I got from Arms Week. Exactly. Apart from the power, because I was a different power, all the stats and all the perks are exactly the same. Now, it looks different because it's I don't know whether they've given it a different kind of holofoil because it was with Iron Banner. It looks different holofoil in Destiny Night Manager. One of them is blue and one of them is browny colour. And the hand cannon, the Fenutra Fera, I believe that's the one.
Yes. The spread shot.
Yeah. And it's really weird because I've been going through and I've been deleting things. And again, you've got a kind of a bluey one with Arms Week, and then you've got this browny kind of bluey one for Iron Banner. Now, if you do the same again, Bungie, and give me exactly the same weapons that are available on the reward track, I'm not going to be happy. I'm keeping them, and I wasn't going to keep them. I was going to delete one of them. But then when I was going through like the Destiny Night Manager to kind of compare which ones I want to kind of keep and which ones I want to get rid of, I was like, that one's exactly like that. Why is that one exactly like that one? And then it took me a while to realise. I was like, I'd saved that from the first Arms Week and that one from Iron Banner, and I'm like, okay, so we're not even going to change around the perks. We may change around the colour to make it look different.
Yeah, but now it's going to be the same weapon. That's I think I have one ribbon tail because I just deleted the rest of them because I don't know. I've never loved the trace rifles. Didn't even realize they were the same, but it did. I mean, it did feel like deja vu. Like I don't think I could have necessarily said yes. I definitely had got these weapons twice, but it definitely did feel like, haven't I seen this before? Doesn't this track feel similar? And it's I thought it was weird the Iron Banner reward track, for Iron Banner not giving me Iron Banner things. I was like, why are we doing these weapons instead? And now just because we copied and pasted them from week 1.
I mean, like we said before, I think it was like time constraints, and they thought, well, we did say Iron Banner's coming back in National Iron. We've got to get it out the gate somehow. We've only got the one weapon, which was really meh, which they do address in this week's TWAB, saying that they're kind of going to buff it.
Yeah,
But it's like,
which also would have been nice to say last week or week before, because if you got a bunch of them, deleted them all, and then they said, "Oh, by the way, we're going to make this better." Well, everyone's deleted them all by now. I mean, again, I was deleting mine because it's not a Final
it's a hand
Impactor
cannon.
wasn't a good.
It's a hand
Yeah,
cannon. Let's face it.
well, the hand cannon, and not even a good, like, some of the Finitria Affair ones I've kept, and some of the more interesting hand cannons, but like at least to have, because again, there's the anti-champion perks and stuff with hand cannons and sidearms. I'm like, I keep a couple around, but if you're going to give me ones that are not good to begin with and not good to use, and then the next week buff them, it's like, it would have been nice to know. Again, not for me, but like I'm sure there's somebody's out there going, well, I have these and I deleted them because I didn't think you were going to touch them. And anyway, it's just, here we are. Again, I don't know why I'm complaining about a hand cannon I didn't keep anyway, but, hey, for next Iron Banner, hey, assuming it's still the weapon to get whenever we get another Iron Banner, Bungie, it'll be better.
Yeah, that's what I'm a bit concerned about. I was thinking about this today. It's like when we've had seasons before, we've had up to like about 5 or 6 Iron Banners in a season, and I know for the first half of the season we didn't have anything, and we've only got 2 months until we've got Renegades. Does that mean we're only going to get? I mean, I don't think we're going to get anything October unless it comes back not this week, the week after on the 14th. But then that will just leave us November. Do they do one at the beginning of November and do one at the end of November, or do they just do one? That's really strange to only have 2 for like a season.
Yeah,
I feel that.
I hope they do something in November, because there's just, other than the Festival of the Lost coming, there's nothing. Again, we haven't seen that roadmap they talked about, which I do. I do a little news item about. Hey, it's still coming, but yeah, just we don't know what's coming, and we know Festival of the Lost is coming, and it's like November looks like it's going to be a month of nothing. So yeah, honestly, I wouldn't hate 2 Iron Banners. Throw one in the beginning, one at the end, or put one up during Festival of the Lost.
Yeah, it could come on the 14th actually, because looking back on the dates, Festival of the Lost comes on October 21st. So next week we've got Arms Week, so they could squeeze it in on the 14th, and then go straight into the Festival of the Lost for 2 weeks up until November 4th, and then maybe have something else on November 4th, and then maybe somewhere in the middle of November.
Yeah, throw one in there, because again, other than the weapon not being great and the reward track being not so rewarding, there was nothing really, there was nothing wrong with Iron Banner. I was just trying to think, is there anything that they might say, oh, we really need to go fix XYZ before we bring it back? But I don't think so. You touch the weapon that was being given out, throw something new into the reward track and bring it back to it for it. Have it be Festival of the Lost themed. There's. I'm hoping we get another 1 or 2 back, if for no other reason, just to have an event to play, because it really is. If there's no event up, there's just not a lot of drive. It's like, let me jump in and let me do the new thing. Well, if there's no new thing or the no time limited event, it's kind of like this week. Oh, we got the bonus drops, but I'm doing the same thing for the bonus drops. So hopefully we get another 1 or 2 before Renegades. If nothing else, just to tide us over, is something being up.
Yeah.
Well, Iron Banner. So.
Yeah, I know Dylan said about having like a roadmap soon, but it's been 3 weeks since we've had that live stream, and I know they're probably in damage control at the moment with various different things, but it's just strange that they've gone mute on the whole situation and on that whole statement of we're going to have a roadmap, because
there's just not a lot, and this will be a good point to drop it in, and let me find, because I did see, because someone on Reddit asked, want to make cash on Reddit asked, hey, whatever happened to the whole roadmap we were supposed to get on September 9th in the reveal stream? You said there'd be a roadmap of what's planning. Did you forget? We've seen nothing since then.
Yeah,
and DMG says, did not forget. Team is aligning on plans, timelines, etc. Can't give a specific date at this time. So it's like, we're aware of it, but that doesn't feel very encouraging.
Yeah. No,
It's not like
that's
it's
the
not like,
same
hey,
message
well,
from beforehand. It's like, yeah,
right.
we're going to get you a roadmap. We're going to get you a roadmap, but we're literally on the road without a map at the moment. I think that's the whole point. It's like we're going to be at Renegades before there's going to be a map.
Right. Yeah. It's like what? Yeah. What are we? What are we driving toward? What are we looking for? Again, I mean, yeah. What? What are we here for?
I mean, everybody's waiting for Renegades to see if this is that kind of that's going to be the turning point. But it's like people want to know what's kind of leading up to that, and then what's going to be after Renegades. Because at the moment, they've given us, I think, titles or ideas of where it's going after Renegades. But then, come maybe June, when the Renegades expansion is over, what's next?
Is there another collab coming? Is there another season coming? Is there something coming? I mean, it's obviously something is coming, but it's like what are we thinking about, guys? What's what's going on? Yeah,
And
it's
then
like
I know they can't kind of maintain what they did before with like seasons and how seasons worked, but I don't feel at the moment with what we've had with the Edge of Fate and the Ashen Iron update has been along the same kind of lines as what they envisaged with, like, they said it was going to be more or less the Rise of Iron update, but it doesn't feel like that at the moment. I think the portal still needs to grow or change to get people interested in coming back to play that, and the bits that are outside of that need to be incorporated into the portal, basically.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would I'm sure there's a lot of anxiety on their end about whatever they announce for the roadmap. I mean, people are going to eviscerate because you're never going to make everybody happy, and everyone's going to say, "Oh, why couldn't you have done this?" You know, no matter what they announce. I mean, I would just like to see them say, "Hey, you know, we have a over the next, you know, over the next X number of weeks, months, whatever, we're gonna, you know, commit to moving these things into the portal. You know, we don't have firm dates on these, but you know, at least the order of the things we're going to bring in are this, you know, this, then this, then this. Like, I would love to just see them expand what's there. You know, again, I'm going to make my plea again. You know, throwing Gambit into the portal. You know, throwing some of the stuff into the portal. Just have it be available. Just have, you know, you need content. The fact
Yeah,
that
but I think the problem then comes.
fire team ops and solo ops, and it's just like this feels like the same 8 things we've run since this launched. It just feels
It then becomes the Iron Banner problem, doesn't it? Because if they
it
threw
does.
Gambit into the portal, what are you giving us for rewards? Oh, a ribbon tail, a Finuccia Fera, an armor set that is acquirable somewhere else. Because we can give you an updated that will drop updated stuff, but it's only updated stuff that's coded to be part of the tiered system. So it
Right.
then becomes the Iron Banner problem of we haven't got the stuff to put in there to keep people interested. We've got stuff, and we could probably port it over into the portal, but we haven't changed it, we haven't updated it, we haven't given you a reason to kind of come back and play it, because the stuff that's in there is just going to be obtained everywhere else. And
Right. Yeah. Like they really
you don't
build
know if that's going to upset more people than please people.
right. Yeah. I mean, they really build a chicken and the egg problem of
Yeah.
well, I want to come back and get good loot. Okay. Well, if so, do we make good loot and then you play the same 6 activities, or do we make activities for you to earn the loot in? You know, it's like we've got again. It's the double problem of I don't want to play the same 6 things and earn the same 6 rewards. And I know it's obviously more than 6. I'm just throwing that out there as a number. But, you know, it's like I don't want to play, you know, Caldera for the 900th time or whatever. You know, I want there to be something new to play and rewards that are interesting to earn. You know, even if it's just saying, hey, we're gonna bring this back, and we're gonna just, you know, throw, you know, again, pick an armor set, throw it into the you know, tier system. You know, pick a subset of pick a weapon. You know, bring a weapon back. You know, look at your data and say, hey, the most popular weapon in this season was this. We're gonna throw that into this activity. You know, or you know, we're gonna bring that into the loot pool, into the portal in this season. You know, just, you know, one by one, bring fan favorite weapons back. Bring, you know, maybe weapons back that, you know, hey, this came out and it was only available as part of this raid or activity or whatever, and nobody has it. Let's, bring it back into the loot pool for, hey, we're going to put it into this pinnacle thing. It would be nice to know. And again, I mean, we're right back to the roadmap is, activities am I going to be playing and what am I going to have that's worth it for the activities? I mean, the stuff, things like Mid Retrograde and stuff have been absolute beautiful things to chase. Like the loot, when they have done new loot, has been good. It's just, we need more. Like there's, you've built a looter shooter. So I need things to shoot and loot. And I feel like I have not enough of either.
Yeah. This is your weekly rundown for the Edge of Fate, week 13, starting on October 7th. This week sees the return of the limited time event Arms Week, which has a focus on one weapon each time it comes around. This week will be shotguns. And much like we had with the previous Arms Week, as you progress through the event ranks by completing activities, you'll unlock more rewards. Arms Week also has its own seal Untitled to Earn and Guild. Event challenges will reward event tokens, which can be exchanged for exclusive gear and rewards in the reward shop, which include holofoil weapons. Nitedemon will also be on hand to train and test your skills, with time trials and target practice at the shooting range in the tower. By completing challenges with shotguns, you'll be able to collect combat telemetry, which can be turned into Ada-1 at the shooting range, allowing her to build more weapons and other rewards, including time-limited and very powerful volatile mods. Unstable shells, landing precision hits or most of the pellet spread will attach a delayed explosion to the target. Illegal trigger, every shell fired increases the rate of fire for a short time. Magazine size and reserves are increased beyond their normal limits. And Aftershock, final blows create a wave of energy behind the target. Arms Week runs from the daily reset on Tuesday to the following Tuesday's reset. Also launching on October 7th will be the new exotic mission Heliostat. Players will return to the Plaguelands to stop what Maya began with her daring heist on the Vanguard Vault, where the conductor seeks to expand the reach of Arakko using abandoned Warsat technology. Guardians will storm the Golden Age facility alongside their psionic allies, to ruin Maya's plans and claim the new exotic axe, Wolfsbane. Once completed, the full customizable version will be available in the Portal Pinnacle Ops, where you will be able to customize your modifiers and tier rewards. In the Portal Pinnacle Ops this week will be competitive, control, and a variant of cutting edge, with Trials of Osiris at the weekend. Other non-featured modes of 3v3 Lockdown and 6v6 Relic can be found over on the Crucible Director. In the solo ops we have Skywatch, the Salt Mines, the Conflux, Creation, K1 Logistics, and Caldera. In the fighting ops we have the 3 new Reclaim missions, Cabal's Watch, Conductor's Keep, and Fallen Bunker, Battlegrounds Behemoth, and Episode Echo's Core, 3 additional strikes of Hypernet Current, Insight Terminus, and Fallen Saber, 3 expeditions from Season of Plunder, Nessus, Cosmodrome, and Europa, with a returning episode Revenant, Tomb of Elders. We also have the Strikes of Liminality, the Devil's Lair, Proving Grounds, the Inverted Spire, and the Glassway, Battlegrounds Oracle, Foothold, Delve, and Conduit, Empire Hunts the Warrior, Technocrat, and Dark Priestess, Savathun Spire Offensive, Onslaught Widow's Court, and Midtown, with the Coil. In the Pinnacle Ops we have the 3 dungeon layers, Pit of Heresy beneath the Necropolis, Duality Nightmare of Goron, and Warlord's Ruin Heaven's Vengeance. The new exotic mission Heliostat with the Wolfsbane exotic axe as the main reward, exotic missions Presage with the Dead Man's Tale exotic scout rifle being the main reward, the Season the Haunted, and opulent weapon sets, plus the Idolian Pursuant armor set, Node Override Avalon with Excalibur exotic glaive being the main reward, and the Season of the Defiance weapon set, Star-Crossed with the Wishkeeper exotic bow being the main reward, and the Season of the Wish weapon set, the Whisper with the Whisper of the Worm exotic sniper being the main reward, Kel's Fall with the Slayer's Fang exotic shotgun being the main reward, and Encore with the Choir of One auto rifle being the main reward. On Kepler, featured mission 1 this week will be the Invitation, and featured mission 2 will be Gouge. This week's challenges are Last Rites, Instrumented Performance, Mean and Green, Cosmic Churn, and Calibrate Close Range. For our Legacy rotation, the Dreaming City this week is at a weak curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in the Strand and has the Broken Courier mission for the next week. The Blind One features Scorn enemies and the Plague, Sicarus, and Veracus. The Ascendant challenge will be the Agonon's Abyss over in the Baildred Wishes Lost sector. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is Beyond. The Trove Guardian is located in Archer's Line, while the Wandering Nightmare is the Nightmare of Jax, Claws of Siva Wrath at the Hellmouth. Nightmare hunts Skolas, Pride, Omnigul, Anguish, and Zydron Servitude. The Altars of Sorrow will start this week's rotation with the Nightmare of Tanix and the Apostate Sniper. On Europa this week, Corridis the Dark Priestess will be the Empire Hunt, Eventide Runes will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo challenge will be Survival. Days of Eternity expert difficulty rounds are Cabal, Taken, and Crota. The Scatterhorn armor set and the Wild Hunt armor set will be available in Days of Eternity with Weapon Set 1. Arsenic Bite 4B, Blasper 2, Corsair's Wrath, Deafening Whisper, Dire Promise, Enigma's Draw, Escape Velocity, Giant 7 Rifle, Friction Fire, Royal Chase, True Prophecy, and Timeline's Vertex. The Witch Queen Weekly Story mission is The Cunning, Altar of Reflections Catalyst, and Altar of Reflections Pact. The Wellspring activity will start the week on Defense, with Void Sniper, Father Sin, and Zurich Scorn Raider as the boss. The Lightfall Weekly mission is Downfall, the Partition mission will be Backdoor, and the Vex Incursion will be Zephyr Concourse. In the Pale Heart, the exotic mission Dual Destiny is still available for teams of 2 Guardians, where you can farm the mission to earn as many new prismatic exotic class items as you like. The 12th Guardian Matchmade Excision mission is also available, with the Grandmaster version granting the Ergo Sum Catalyst and an Ascendant Shard. The Lost Sector rotation for this week will start with Val's Labyrinth on the Cosmodrome, Avilian's Rest on the Dreaming City, Scavenger's Den on the EDZ, Concealed Void on Europa, K1 Revelations on the Moon, Thrillerdrome on Neptune, the Conflux on Nessus, Metamorphosis on the Throne World, and the Broken Deep in the Pale Heart. With the Edge of Fate, all raids and all challenges are now available all the time, and at present there are also no featured raids or dungeons each week, and the Ash and Iron update now allows you to farm past raids and dungeons for their respected exotic weapons, with no weekly lockouts. The new raid, the Desert Perpetual over on Kepler, has now been updated with a normal and epic version, with both dropping tier 3 plus loot, with a chance of the exotic rocket launcher Whirling Ovation to drop. The Sundered Doctrine dungeon can be found over on the Throne World, with the exotic linear fusion rifle Finality Sega up for grabs. The exotic mission rotated will be Kel's Fall over in the Legends tab, with the Slayer's Fang exotic shotgun being the main reward, and the episode Revenant weapon set. The exotic missions, the Whisper and 0 Hour will also be available in the Legends tab. And that's it for the 5th week of Ash and Iron. Well, we're going to have some weapon changes in update 9.1.5, which is going to go live on Tuesday. So, Crucible, going to renovate the special ammo system meter. So,
Again,
this is interesting because I wonder how this is going to work. Because they said, while the special ammo meter allows you to heavily invest into it and obtain sufficient uptime, players who don't invest are struggling to earn even a minimal amount of ammo. Now, that's been me sometimes, when, especially when Donnie's said to me, "Oh, let's put on toasters," kind of thing, and we're like, "Well, I've got the one ammo, I've shot it, I've missed, I've now got to wait to generate more ammo or wait for the crate on the wall." So yeah, no, I appreciate that. So they're going to increase the amount of ammo available at the low end, but not increase it at the high end. So it's a very weird balance that they're going to be able to do. So they're going to increase the special ammo meter gains at low and no investment for primary ammo weapons final blows at 33%. That just, if somebody's really good and they haven't invested into it, they're still going to get a very good supply of special ammo. So I'm not sure how that's going to work.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's why I was sort of jokingly see again, because I feel like they brought this meter in and they've been tweaking it. It's like, is there a point where you're going to get to it where it's going to be happy? Is there going to be a happy medium? I mean, at first I sort of cynically read this and was like, "Whoa, people didn't invest, didn't get things from it." I'm like, well, wasn't that the whole point? Is to invest into things and then can earn the ammo? Now, counterpoint to that is it understandable enough how to invest into it and how to get the ammo? Is that consistent? I mean, again, I haven't run special ammo in Crucible unless I'm memeing a toaster or a wither horde in forever, because I just said I'm not going to figure the system out and I'm not good enough for it to matter to me.
Yeah,
but
I mean, yeah, you invest into it with the ammo bar, but you can also have the ammo bricks on the wall, which kind of spawn in every now and then.
Yeah,
and I think it is a kind of happy medium. But I think the problem is the good players will spec into kind of having a lot more special ammo. But then if they are really good with, like, say, a primary weapon, like an Ace of Spades or something, and don't really need to invest into it, then they could drop down and invest in something else to make them better, and then still be able to get their special ammo because they're not investing heavily into special ammo now. So it's a very fine line for them. Yeah, it's a very weird one, isn't it?
Yeah, I sort of wonder, like, what's the goal here? Like, are we trying to balance out the amount of special ammo everybody can have? Like to a point, and that almost is what this feels like. Is, oh, hey, the good players are getting all the special ammo. If you're not so good and you haven't spec'd in, you're not getting all the special ammo. like maybe that's fine. Like, is that okay? Like, can we just say, hey, you need to spec into this to benefit from the system? And if
Yeah.
you don't, you just get less. And yeah, no, it's not fair. It's not balanced. Like, it's Crucible. It's never going to be. I just wonder what's the motivation behind these continued changes. It's like, are we trying to make a game that feels fair and to everybody? Are we trying to make it competitive? Like, what's the goal? Like, what are we trying to do with all this special ammo balancing? Because it just feels like it's, you're trying to walk this knife's edge that, again, I mean, no matter what you do, not everyone's going to be happy with you.
No.
But just if Bungie could snap their fingers and say, "Ha, we figured it out. We've got the special ammo exactly where we want it to be." What does that look like?
Well, I think they don't want the high-end players or the players that invest into it to get an abundance of special ammo. But I think they've tried various different ways. We've had a way of it just drops all the time. You get a kill, it drops. You can get it off the bricks on the wall, and I'm not sure whether everybody having access to special ammo all the time is a good thing or a bad thing. It just, I wouldn't really know what to do in that situation, because again, it also then depends on the Crucible mode as well, because you don't want people relying on, say, a lot of special, because like shotguns and sniper rifles and like wither hordes and things that they can really do a lot of damage to a team in trials. Whereas in sixes, sometimes it's not as bad, because if it's dropping all the time or it's always there, then everybody has that chance to do stuff. And, if you're doing control or if you're doing something that's objective based, sometimes that doesn't really matter. Where like Clash and other things where it is just kind of killing, maybe that's a different thing. Maybe they should look at it per game mode rather than kind of overall, like special ammo is going to be this. Maybe it should be per game mode.
Yeah, I'm just having a real hard time understanding where they want to get it to. And yeah, like what does success look like? If we get this to where we want it to be, where is that? Because it's just like, if we're trying to, which I mean, because it feels like, we're trying to bring the top level people down and the lower level people up, but I mean, that's just kind of PvP. That's just kind of a competitive game mode. Like, it's not going to be the same. If you want this, spec into it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not a developer. I'm not making these decisions. It feels like, okay, we're going to take the 90th crack at this, and maybe we'll get it right this time. Whatever right looks like. I don't know.
Well, we'll see. But we've got some more weapon archetype changes. So hand cannons, adaptives. So they're talking about the finite impact for Iron Banner, originally from Season 3, and it's not on par with the new generation of hand cannons. So as such, they're increasing the stats to be more competitive with current offerings. So I don't know whether it's adaptives they're changing or if it's just the finite impact, because they only say finite impactor. They're going to increase the range from 36 to 46, increase the handling from 45 to 55, and increase the reload speed from 40 to 50. I'm not entirely sure what... I don't think they've got any kind of adaptive hand cannons that are new that have kind of come back apart from the finite impactor. So, yeah, it's a weird one, unless they're kind of going forward, they're going to change all the adaptives. And I've deleted deleted all my finite impactors, but
right, yeah. I mean, that's why I wrote that is we're going to target this specific weapon. I mean, because it was the singular reward from Iron Banner. So if you're going to make it the reward, make it a good one.
I mean, unless
I don't know how many others there are, but
well, you've got old ones. You've got like what we had with the Rights of the Nine with Judgment. You've got Midnight Coup. You've got Spare Rations. What else is there hand cannon wise? Like, we've got Exalted Truth from Trials. We've got I'm not going to say that one. Nation of Beasts. You've got the Palindrome. So you've got existing ones that are really good. So are you leaving those? I guess we're leaving those because they're kind of the old archetype system.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm guessing. And again, because they call out, well, yeah, I mean, because they call it hand cannons, adaptive, than simply the finite impactor. Whereas they don't say, it's not like, they don't list, hey, here's the things we're doing, and here's what we're hitting with specifically with the finite impactor. Whereas they are doing that with the spread shots. They're saying, hey, for the spread shot hand cannons, we've seen their kills and effectiveness fall significantly after their original nerf earlier this season, reduced by 40 and 53% respectively. Yeah, that would be a big nerf.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going in, making that change again. So they're going to increase the bonus damage against combatants from 8 to 15%, reduce range by 5%, increase spread by 10%, increase recoil by 25%, and reduce the handling by 10%. So are we doing these to make them better, guys?
They're offsetting the changes in PvE.
Changes. Yeah, and trying to make them that like between the sidearm range and the select shotgun range, and nestle nicely between those two. And that's all. So all of our spread shots are getting adjusted that way. So I guess it's just a high impactor for adaptive. I guess we'll see if you pull out your favorite adaptive hand cannon, and all of a sudden it can hit harder and shoot further than you'll know.
Yeah,
I mean, because that's the Phoenitria Nutra that we will never be able to pronounce properly. Or
Phoenitria
Fera. Yeah,
that's it. That's the only one, isn't it?
I was trying to remember. I was like, I feel like they had talked about a second, or maybe I'm probably making.
Oh no, the Aureus Neutralizer from Trials.
Oh, from Trials. Okay.
Yes,
yeah,
I have one of those.
I'd seen. I'd been killed by that, but I didn't know what kind of hand cannon it was. Okay, I was like, I thought they had announced a second one, but I couldn't remember if it was Trials or the Raid. I was like, it's somewhere where I don't have one, but
yeah, I'd been killed by it a couple of times. I'm like, who keeps killing me with that silly hand cannon? And now I know why, because it's a spread shot hand cannon.
Who's doing this and why? Why, most importantly?
Yeah, who's hurting me?
Everyone.
So alongside these spread shot hand cannons, heavy burst sidearms are very strong in close range meta, even after the direct nerf to Forgiveness. So that's the arc sidearm that we had with Trials that's come back. With their main competitors coming down in playlists, heavy bursts were proving to be too easy to use for the range they offered. So what we're going to do, this change will require more precision to land an optimal time to kill, and will slow down a time to kill for body shots. So they're going to reduce the base damage taken. So we reduce the body shot damage from 33 to 31, and reduce the critical hit damage from 52.8 to 49.6. So that's what they're going to do. It's just the heavy burst sidearms. Others are still viable, I guess.
Yep, just those two. Yeah, I'm sure they'll be fine. We're getting our new exotic mission, Heliostat, launching on Tuesday, October 7th. So that'll be a thing.
Mm-hmm. And they don't give you any information about the Wolfsbane sword. And the funny thing is, you can go to your exotics.
Well, they do give you one thing. It's not a sword, it's an axe. It's not a Wolfsbane sword.
Listen. In the database, it comes under swords. So I'm telling you, it's a sword. No, it is an axe, but for some strange reason, in the database, it's coded as a sword, which makes me wonder, was this part of the reason why we decided to go after my strongholds? Because we don't want me walking around with a Wolfsbane axe blocking things, because this could be overpowered. Just saying. So I'm looking forward to my strongholds coming back and being able to wield this axe sword. And it's solar as well, so it goes with some of the solar stuff. Anyway,
perfect.
So go on. You tell us about what they've told us about our axe in the TWAB.
It's going to be an axe. It's an exotic axe, the first of its kind, first of its name.
Sword.
Exactly. An homage to times past. Reap restorative quicksilver nanites when hitting and killing targets. So it's going to be the axe sword, the axe break perfected.
Yeah.
Outbreak perfected of swords.
No, it's got quicksilver nanites.
Fly to the wielder, attaching to the axe sword, and reconstruct the blade to something even greater. Once enough nanites have accrued, hold reload to overclock the blade, increasing its damage output and transforming the heavy attack into a swarming, flaming quicksilver swarmnado. So it's a cross between that sword that you could rev up and the Outbreak Perfected, which I can't
possibly
remember the name of that stupid exotic sword that was the chainsaw.
Oh, the
'Cause when was the Lament?
Lament, that's the one.
Yeah, the chainsaw. I was like, I haven't thought about the sword in months, and probably no one else has either. Yeah, the one you could rev up and then do more damage. So yeah, you can rev up the sword and then do flaming Quicksilver Swarm NATO damage. So
Yeah. Over on D2 Foundry, it's classed as a sword for some strange reason. Wolfsbane Axe. So the main perk is Resurgence Direction. Light attacks generate sword energy and have the chance to spawn Seeking Quicksilver Nanites that heal the wielder upon attaching. And the perks for it are we've got the Nano Assault trait, Quicksilver Nanites attached to the wielder's charged blade, alternate weapon action when fully charged, overclocks, and nanites, what Peroty said. We then also have Tenacious Handle. Traditional guarding is disabled in favour of offensive capabilities. Gain greatly increased damage resistance from being in combat for an extended duration. You can have Rampage's Handle. Traditional guard is disabled in favour of the offensive capabilities. Gain moderate increased damage resistance from being in combat for a moderate duration. Or you can have Unyielding Handle. Traditional guard is disabled in favour of offensive capabilities. Gain damage resistance from being in combat for a short duration. And then we've got Attrition Orbs refit. We've got Relentless Strike refit. So that's landing 3 light attacks within a short time grants the sword ammo. It's not a sword. Burning Ambition. Dealing sustained damage scorches the target. Dealing damage to scorched targets inflicts scorch. And then Subroutine Recursion? Yeah. Subroutine Recursion. Quicksilver Nanites grant more health the greater the stacks of the nanite assaults are. Taking damage while nanite assault is active has the chance to generate nanites nearby. So yeah, it's looking very tasty. And the funny thing is that it's if you go to your exotics, when you're looking at what exotics that you have and you don't have in the collections, if you go to your character and tab over to your collections, go to the exotics. And I scrolled down to see if I could find like what it looks like, the sword. I can go on to kind of light.gg and get a picture, but it's not actually in the collections. But the funny thing is, if you go into the ornament section of the collections, it's got the ornament for the sword, not sword, axe. I'm going to take that off my screen because I keep reading sword. Get rid of that. For the axe, it's got the ornament for the axe called Skull Crusher. And it's really cool because it looks like a normal axe, and then when you push, I push action button or the yellow button, it then forms a proper, head axe with the skull in the middle, flaming and things. It looks pretty cool. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it does sound fun. I'm all for getting a new weapon. I'm less all for having to run it 1,000 times to get all the different retrofits, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah, but I'm excited to go have a new exotic mission to jump into and a new sword axe to earn. Because I mean, who doesn't want to just throw a giant axe around? I mean, why not? And
it's called Heliostat now, not Warsat Heist. Because I wrote it all out in my This Week at Destiny. It's going to be called Warsat Heist, and this is the footage that they provided for it. And no, we're going to change the name of it. Who changes the name of it? Who changes the name of it like the week before?
The narrative team. They're like, listen, we gave you a name, and now we're going to say, nope, we're going to take that name away and give you a different one, and you're going to like it, you're going to appreciate it, you're going to be super excited to play it, you're going to be thrilled.
I am going to be excited to play it.
And they do have a whole note about the Heliostat first run, so I'm sure nothing is in here to worry about.
Okay,
so let's just see what they have to say. When creating the new exotic mission, originally named Warsat Heist, when first announced, we wanted to provide a chance for players to tackle the new mission with friends for the first time or help new friends get their first completion clear while still getting potential rewards. Yes, the entire reason we play video games with each other. When tackling the new Heliostat exotic mission for the first time, players will be locked at normal difficulty and fixed modifiers for a consistent experience. You'll be rewarded with a power bump for all fire team members no matter where in the power journey they're at. Once completed, the full portal tiers and modifier customization options will be available in the Pinnacle Ops, and you will need to be configured appropriately for continued power progression for future runs. It is important to note that players who have not completed their first run cannot join a normal unlocked version. However, players on their first run can invite players who have already completed their first run to play with them.
Yeah.
So we want you to play together, but only if you've done it first.
No. The person that hasn't done it has to launch it and then invite the person that did already do it to come and play with them. You can't do it the other way around. So, say for instance, you go ahead and play with Blue on Tuesday night and you get it unlocked, and then I come and join you on Wednesday when I can come and play. I would have to launch it and invite you two to come and play with me. I wouldn't be able to join a version in the portal that you guys are playing because I haven't run it already.
Okay, I mean, that's how I expected it to work, but the way they have this written does feel like on your first run, you can't invite people who also haven't done it. Which, yeah, I'm sure is not the case. I'm sure, yeah, if it's your first run, you can all form up as a fire team and all three of you go in and run it the first. But just... So yeah, you can do it the first time. So basically they're saying, hey, there's a normal version with locked everything. Do that first. Then you can go do everything else, which I'm sure people will moan about, but I like that because I like at least understanding what I'm doing first without getting the difficulty all the way up and getting destroyed by things I haven't even seen coming yet. So yeah. And then they say players above 200 power who have already completed their first run will get tier 1 rewards capped at 200 for playing with friends through their first heliostat run. Players below 200 power who have already completed their first run still may receive rewards that gain them power while running through heliostat for the first time. So again, if you're not at the floor of 200, you'll get boosted to 200. If you're above 200, you're just here for the completion. Just here to hang out.
Yeah. And I know we've already spoken about the ship of Theseus. Should we talk about the ship of Theseus for the world's first epic raid race winners?
Sure.
Yeah. So again, the team of Clan Elysium have won the first epic raid race. A bit like the ship of Theseus, we have Salta Greppo and Quaz, who I vaguely remember those two from the original raid winners from, I can't remember what was it the Vault of Glass was the first one that they did? I think. And then
something like that, yeah.
They swapped out members as they've kind of gone along. So I think, yeah, Salt and Quaz, it maybe Quaz came along on the second belt that they've won, but this is, the fifth one that they've got now?
Something
so yeah,
like
Salta
that.
Greppo, Quaz, Vendetta, Vile Fate, OG, and Jiffy Pop?
Jiffy?
Yeah.
So yeah, they did that. They got the belt, not without some controversy. Not so much with the clear itself, but with things that happened after the clear. That of course it has been. We only have a board anymore that just says days since the last Destiny controversy or drama. It just sits at 0. We just threw the paper away because there's no. It's always 0.
No. So there didn't seem to be any controversy with these guys winning it.
No.
But there was controversy after that because I wasn't 100% sure. And I think some of the thumbnails and posts have been kind of misleading of who was cheating or possibility of cheating.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like no one, it's another one of those, like it's all sort of hearsay and looking at
speculation,
looking at changes to Twitter profiles and trying to, sort of read the tea leaves and go, oh, well, this happened. So therefore, and yeah, it's basically, and I don't even have, I saw Lucky 10P cover and a couple other people mentioning it. And of course it took a life of its own online and people just, hurling accusations every which way. And it's like, none of you know anything. Like just, everyone just wants to get on the screaming train and scream about things they don't understand either. But yeah, it's basically someone who had been hired by Bungie to do QA. I guess
specifically for raids and perpetual raids.
Yeah, that worked on the perpetual raid QA stuff. Was in, I guess, I'll say allegedly in a Discord voice or in a voice channel of some sort with not the first team, but I guess the team that got second or third, not the first, but in someone in the top 3 or maybe it was top 5. I'd seen both.
I heard 15th. I heard that it was the top 15th.
15. Oh, okay. Yeah. So
again, this is why it's all kind of up in the air. Nobody really knows.
Right. This is the perfect case in point. In one of the top handful of teams was in some sort of voice chat. Again, after the consistent thing is it seemed to be, after the world first cleared, because I guess there was, again, allegedly, an NDA of, obviously you can't talk about this. You can't share stuff while the world's first is going on. And I guess, technically, yes, once the world's first has been completed, then I guess technically maybe the NDA has expired and then you can tell people. But if you want to keep your job, maybe you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I think some of the controversy was after the voice chat that they actually joined a group and they participated in completion of the epic raid.
I hadn't seen that part.
And got
Yeah, so I basically saw the
15th, I think, at that point.
Okay. Yeah, because I had seen that they were sort of talking, coaching, explaining some of the mechanics to the group. I didn't, I figured they would have gotten it clear at some point, but I didn't know. And it may honestly have just been there's so few people running it that 15th was just there to be taken. But
yeah, I think a lot of the thumbnails and things that I'd seen and kind of clicked past, I was like, I'm not getting involved in that, made it sound like the world's first team, like Saltagrepo's team of Clan Elysium, were the ones that were being fed the information. But when you actually watch the video or listen to what people are explaining, it's like that's not what your kind of thumbnail was baiting me to watch this video for. It's like Clan Elysium didn't cheat as far as, anyone's aware. It's other people that have possibly benefited from somebody working on this have got a clear at some point. Is that fair or is it not fair? I mean, at the end of the day, if you've worked for Bungie and you've tested these raids, no, I don't think you should be involved in getting anybody a day one clear. You should, specifically yourself, you should not be allowed to participate in that activity, regardless of what position you are in. You were given the position of testing this raid, so you know the mechanics, you've played these mechanics, you have a huge advantage over any other team. So you've potentially knocked other teams down in that pegging, which it shouldn't be allowed. If you want to participate after the fact, after the 48 hours have kind of gone, then that's fair enough. You can coach as many teams as you like after that point.
Right. Yeah.
But if you wanted to participate in the day one version of this, you should not have been a tester for it. If you wanted that emblem, if you wanted that clear, you should not have been involved in the kind of making of it, the behind the scenes part of it, because that's just not fair to anybody. It's not fair to the people that you're helping on that day one, because you're taking away like other people's chances, and you're not giving that team the chance to actually prove to themselves that they could do it. I know that some people just don't care about that, but then I completely disagree with them even being allowed and the team letting them kind of be in there as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's just so many levels of that. But yeah, and anyway, the long and the short of it, again, the only other I can't even say concrete bit of information, but the only other bit of evidence is basically this person. And again, I don't remember even what their name was, and I don't, and it's not worth digging up because I don't need to go add to the potential slander on the internet. But basically, their profile did say QA tester at Bungie or contract QA tester, again, whatever it was. Now has been updated after this to no longer have any reference to that. So there's, again, everyone's saying, oh, they were obviously fired by Bungie for this, which again, we have no evidence of other than they changed their Twitter profile, not anything.
But if Bungie did fire them for it, good on Bungie, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I have to think again. If you're a QA tester, even if yes, technically, your NDA had expired at whatever, but like, use a little common sense. I mean, I would say again, obviously, I don't know what you signed to work at Bungie and all that, but I'm sort of with Demon. If you want to get a clear that first weekend, great. I'd say after the first 24 hours expire. I mean, again, assuming I looked at my document and I, wasn't, prevented from going in at all or getting a clear in the contest mode, I would at least give it a full 24 hours and be like, hey, 24 hours has elapsed. The teams that are going to get it done quickly and first, they'll get their clears. Then I'll go, join a group or go in with my buddies or whatever.
Join a group that have already completed it. Contact Saltagrepo and say, look, I helped do it. You guys have already got through it. Can I go with you guys and do it again? There's no problem at that point. because they've already gone through it. They're not looking for a position in the world's rankings for it. They've already done it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I was thinking it would be really, I was just thinking, I think it would be really cool, but I'm sure they can't do, again, as an employee, would do a little like stream, like, hey, like, run the raid and sort of give some of their insight as a QA tester going into the, again, I'm sure that's something they can't do without Bungie's blessing, but Bungie, that would be an interesting thing to do, and do one of these raid alongs.
I mean, they've done raid alongs beforehand, haven't they?
Yeah, like with some folks from QA, and just because everyone loves to scream about, oh, QA didn't do this and didn't do that. It's like, hey, so fun fact: when we started this encounter, here's what was happening, and just talk about some insane bug you encountered, just some like ridiculous thing. Oh, the boss grew to 6 sizes too big. I mean, just any of this weird stuff that would be fun just to sort of know about and just sort of have as like part of the lore of this raid. And I don't know, it would be interesting, but yeah, it feels like that was the big story this week, and I was sort of looking for any kind of concrete anything. And again, like I didn't go digging through threads. I'm not going to troll through Twitter looking for the smoking gun of this, but it just seems like that's the news story that, and I use news very loosely there, that sort of took over the community this week. We didn't discuss this ahead of time. Even our understandings of this are different because every single thing you read is a little bit different than everything else. Everything else you read, there is no consistent or coherent story on what happened.
No,
just a whole lot of hearsay and, hey, we think this happened. And of course, everyone loves a brigade on the internet to go after somebody for anything. So here we are.
Yeah.
And people love going after Salta Greppo for everything. I mean, just the fact that his name is involved with it, and they're like, oh, Salta Greppo, which again, none of this had to do with him. His clear is not tainted. He did not cheat. He's not, again, because he's been, people he's been on teams with in the past have after the fact been banned or whatever. Again, that just also just ignited the firestorm of, well, obviously, he did this and that and the other. It's like, no, there's no evidence of that, and Bungie has the tools to figure this out. They run the game. They can see all the things. They know what's happening. But yeah, it's
Congratulations to Salta Greppo and Clan Elysium.
Yeah, I mean, everyone I saw talking about, the raid itself, really enjoyed. I think everyone, I had seen sort of went into it going, we might see some minor changes, little tweaks here and there, but there was a whole new boss encounter at the end. I mean, it was walking into this room that has apparently been like, I won't say 10 years in the making, but it's, there was like footage from like full on like D1 10 years ago showing this
area,
this environment that they walked through to get to the final room where I think all the bosses were that they had fought.
Yes. And it makes a difference to the whole end encounter of whichever bosses you took down in which order. And I've got a guide later on from Llama that basically says, this is the recommended way to kind of take down the bosses before you get to the final boss. Because in the Desert Perpetual, you can choose which encounter you do in whichever order before you get to the boss. But in the Epic version, it really does matter which boss you take down because they have different mechanics when you get to the final phase. So it actually all matters this time. So that's why some teams were struggling when they did get to the final encounter because of the way that they'd actually tackled the initial, like, leading up to the final boss.
Which I love. I mean, I love that. I love that when the raid was announced the first time, and it was different bosses, and you can do them in different ways. Seeing the guys pull up 2 or 3 different streams and going, wait a minute, they're fighting different people. They're in different areas, but we're all in the day one raid. And I love that it mattered the order you took these bosses down, because at the end, the beautiful old game style of, oh, you've beaten the boss in his first form, now he's back in his final form to take you on, and he's brought his friends.
Yeah,
I just love that sort of like throwback to like I will say how boss design was. I'm sure plenty of other games still do that, but I've played Destiny for a decade, so it was fun to see that in Destiny of, hey, remember me? We're back. I just thought that was great, and like again, for the people who played the raid, seem to really enjoy it, and really enjoy the mechanics and the twist at the end. So I mean, it's a pity that fewer people are getting these experiences because of where the game is. Because I mean this is one of the things that really makes Destiny shine is these experiences, these 6-man activities.
Yeah.
That you don't know what you're going to get thrown at you.
And watching the llama video on him going through all the mechanics, and I'm like, oh my god, there is just so much to do. It did remind me of Crown of Sorrow, where you kind of had to break off into 3 teams of 2 to kind of go and do things and then communicate through the various different things. And there's a lot of that of like, you need people to make sure that they're doing this, to do that, to do this, to do that. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to need somebody to take me by the hand and explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old. So I'm sorry, but this is definitely one you're going to have to take a whole day to explain one specific area to me. Because and then the fact that they change from the normal raid to the epic raid, and you can't do the epic raid without doing the normal version of the normal raid. So you have to do that first to understand the epic raid.
Yeah, it's.
I've got a lot of work ahead of me.
Yeah, I mean, I was sort of half watching the raid race, flipping between different people's channels and stuff, and just enjoying what I was seeing. Going, I don't know what you all are doing, but it seems insane.
Well, it was quite interesting because when it first kicked off, I went to work, so I had it on in the car as I was kind of driving around, listening to it, and then when I was stopping watching, when I was stopping, no, I have to go from place to place. So when I got to my final destination, I was able to kind of park for half an hour. I sat and watched what was kind of going on, and it was quite interesting to hear all the different things. I then turned the stream off, went to bed, and then got up a couple of hours later because I had to work through the night, and they were still going. I'm like, I thought they'd done most of this, and they got to the final boss, and they'd found like this was like 3 or 4 hours ago. Why are we still here?
Haven't we done this? Nope. Turns out we beat the bosses in the wrong order.
So I'd gone to work again, and then when I arrived at work and I was just like waiting around, I'm like, oh, okay. And then I think I actually saw them like complete it and finish it because there was like a fake, not a damage phase, but a fake enrage moment. And then they were like, oh no, they've managed to pass that, and they've done this and I've done that. I'm like, what is going on? So yeah.
What is happening here? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was certainly one as I popped in and out, it's just like I don't know what's happening. I don't know who's doing what, but I see a lot of people just flailing around the screen.
Yeah. So yeah, if you can do it, do it, and if you can't, you've got to find somebody to teach you to do it. Like I'm going to have to. Noble, we'll have to get on that during the day. You, me, Peroty, and Blue. Find a couple of other people. Just work our way through it. That's your task, Noble. That's to get you back in the game. Let's start teaching some people some raid stuff. Let's learn it, then teach it.
Use the small words. Take me by the hand. Be like, you go here, then you go here, then you go here.
Yeah, exactly. And while we do that, we can listen to Legacy of the Past, which is an original soundtrack of Destiny 2 music that brings together a number of pieces of work that haven't appeared anywhere else. So you can purchase this from the Bungie store. The music runs the gamut from dramatic pieces that have accompanied players in several dungeon adventures to themes from activities found in seasons past, exotic missions, and even landmark cinematics from Destiny 2. So, if we want that, we've got to go to the Bungie store and purchase that. I don't know how much it is. Let's have a look how much it is. Let's see how many Starbucks that we need for this. You only need 8 Starbucks. So that would be $8 to you, Peroty, and probably about £6 for me.
Indeed, eight American dollars.
Yeah.
Are they Starbucks now?
Yeah, Starbucks.
Ah, perfect. 8 Starbucks phones. That's not bad. That's a good Starbucks to song relationship. And it is a digital item, so you buy it and it'll be there. You don't have to wait for shipping or anything.
Exactly. But we have another emblem to get. with celebrating National Disability Employment Awareness Month, and we can celebrate that with Bungie. Accessibility at Bungie, one of Bungie's Inclusion, Diversity and Equity Associations, IDEA, is celebrating National Disability Employment Awareness Month with the new Hope Hughes emblem. And they're excited to partner with the Abilities Points, a non-profit organisation that strives to help profoundly disabled adults achieve employment in the tech and gaming space. In honour of the National Disability Employment Awareness Month, everybody that makes a $10 donation to the Ability Points through the Bungie Foundation campaign will earn the Hope Hughes emblem in Destiny 2 throughout October 31st. And all net proceeds will go to Ability Points.
Yeah, another emblem, another charity. Always good stuff.
Yep.
And now we get to the stuff that's somewhat maybe less good.
Is it the player support report?
It sure is. We don't have a patch to talk about. They haven't pushed any fixes this week, but we do have some more things that we are aware of. So we are aware. Bungie, yes. We are aware that Peroty still cannot read well, but that's been an ongoing known issue that there is no hope for ever resolving. So Banshee 44 now only has 2 daily bonus.
Start again.
Here. Let's drink.
You brought that on yourself this time. You really did.
Stepped right into that war with a cabal on Mars. All right, so we do have some known issues. Banshee 44 now only has 2 daily bounties available. So does that mean we've taken away the third bounty that you could buy first 0 times and then 1 time? Or can I still buy the third one time and then just deposit my glimmer? Banshee 44's repeatable bounties are not being claimed as intended. Ah, there it is. So yes, you can buy 1 of the repeatable bounties, but that's it. You can continue to purchase them for 3,000 glimmer, but it's just generation to Banshee 44's children. Players who complete the Atlas and Almanac quest in the Desert Perpetual Epic raid before completing the Maps and Territories quest in the normal version of the raid are unable to complete the latter quest. So do your Maps and Territories first, then you'll know where you're going. Then you do the Atlas and the Almanac and the Epic raid afterwards. That's what Bungie is telling you. Otherwise, you won't be able to get your Atlas and your Almanac if you haven't mapped your territories. I mean, it's very, very straightforward. I don't see how that could be a problem. Hey, if you're above power 500, you still can't get your clan engrams. You're over 500, you're fine. You don't need them. Trust me, there's nothing there for you. Players who did not earn the 3rd iteration exotic scout rifle while it was available, still unable to progress past Guardian rank 6 because it's still unable to be achieved anywhere. Can you not just throw that in the kiosk for people? Can you not just have Xur sell it one weekend? Can we not just stick this into the game somewhere, guys? Come on. The lower portion of the Chroma Cloak robes do not receive the intended visual effects when activating Transcendence. Players are reporting that Theratos Archer's Bane is not spawning in the Shattered Dungeon Throne. Really did bring this on myself. Players are reporting that Theratos Archer's Bane is not spawning in the Shattered Throne dungeon as part of the Hunter's Remembrance quest. So, Noble, I'm going to need you to go investigate that and see where Theratos has gone to. Also, the Agraios inherent encounter in the Desert Perpetual can soft lock players if the players align with the boss simultaneously. Can soft lock players if align with different bosses simultaneously. So, don't align with different bosses simultaneously, which I'm sure means something to you if you've done that raid, but yeah, don't do it. And also, players in the Desert Perpetual can stay in a detained state even after breaking out. So, yeah, that's a problem. That's no good. Yeah, and then we have our Art of the Week and our Movies of the Week, which is not the 6 Bots in an Iron Banner Lobby movie of the week, which is too bad.
No. I don't think Bungie wanted to kind of advertise that one.
No, I can't imagine why not. And since we didn't get a patch this week, we do have a little more news out in the world. So apparently an earlier version of the Arms Week section in the TWAB indicated the volatile weapon mods would be available for hand cannons as well as shotguns. Apologies for the error. So no, it'll just be shotguns because hand cannons already had their Arms Week. Over on Reddit, the Loot Whisperer, what a good name. The Loot Whisperer is asking, hey, how does Trials matchmaking work? Which is a question we all have. if I, a very, very mid Trials player, am in a fire team with my son, who is an extremely talented Trials and PvP player, basically saying, hey, we're on opposite ends of the scale. If we go in together, how and why and how to Trials, how can we do this and have a decent experience? Mercules responded, who is now our associate weapons designer. If you're on a Trials passage, it will match you up based on your performance that weekend in Trials. If you and your son have only played together that weekend, it'll count your performance as a fire team instead of taking each of you individually. If you guys split up and play some by yourselves and then play together again, it'll go off whoever is higher in the performance metrics. Now, if you're on the Lighthouse passage, matchmaking is random. So there's the two passages. There's a Lighthouse passage of, hey, I want to go to the Lighthouse, which is apparently random, which I would argue is always what Trials matchmaking has been. But yeah, so if you do want to, do what we're doing, is you pick up that Trials passage of just, hey, I just want to win some games. You don't get a Lighthouse trip, but you just want to go in and earn some of the weapons and play some games with friends. So it'll match you based on your performance that weekend. So if you've only played together, which, is likely our cases. So if you've only played with the buddies you've gone in with, it'll count your performance as a fire team. So it doesn't matter how you are individually. But if if Nitedemon has gone in, or if Nitedemon's friend, who's a Trials god, has gone in, and then we group up, it's going to sort of judge us based on the best player in our fire team. Bungie, you should put this in the TWAB, when Trials comes up. Yeah, so if you do want to go in with friends, and none of you play Trials outside of when you all go in and have a laugh, that's kind of the best way to do it. It seems it's gonna put you together based on your fire team's performance, which is not good. If you go get your flawless friend to join you, yeah, you're gonna get stomped because it's basically basing it off your flawless friend's performance, and sort of like the light level pulls you up in PvE, you're being pulled up on the PvP side to that performance, or you're playing in PC lobbies, which also shouldn't be done. Which I thought that was just a nice little explainer on how the matchmaking works, and I wish that was more highlighted because it does just feel random. It does. It was nice to get Mercules give us an actual explanation, because there's so much of this. It's just like, what version is it? Fire team matchmaking? Is it card based? Is it what is it this week? So it's just nice to sort of have that explanation, even if it did involve a little more thinking about what does that actually mean.
Yeah.
And then just a lot of people, moaning about, oh, Dado's taking a break, Grenadier Jake's taking a break, Gladiators, da-da-da. What can we do? I don't know where this thread went, but it was locked, due to a reminder to all Guardians that personal attacks, no matter the target publicly, or, if it's a, quote, public figure or not, are against the rules everywhere. Be nice to people. Don't, chill. Basically, everybody just chill. It's a video game. It's people playing video games. Can we just stop attacking each other over it? It's stupid. Relax. And then the only other things, but from Bungie this week, basically, they did address, like Nitedemon alluded to address the player feedback over the Crucible balance. They've temporarily disabled the Threadling Proliferation artifact perk in PvP. They'll give us more details when available. So yeah, you can still PvE it all you want. Make as many Threadlings as you want, especially as a Warlock. It's great fun. But PvP, they've turned it off because people in Trials, I guess, didn't like getting killed by, all of the Nitedemon's Threadling children. No. Which, fine, I guess. But hey, you want to balance it out. There's my balance. I'm going to use a broken thing. You can use your god level hand cannon. I call that balanced. And then just have another reminder on October, that they put out yesterday, October 3rd, that in the upcoming update 915, the following activities will be moving to Pinnacle Ops. So Onslaught Widow's Court, Onslaught Midtown, the Coil, and Contest of Elders. So make sure you earn any accumulated bonus engrams on those activities before the change hits on Tuesday. So yeah, those move to them, which feels like that should have happened months ago. I feel like as long as they've been talking about it, but it's finally upon us.
That's really bizarre, because they said that they weren't moving until Renegades.
Mm-hmm.
I swear that's what they said.
Or maybe on Tuesday.
Oh my word.
which again, which version of the truth do we believe? Do we take this tweeted version of the truth, or do we take the TWAB version of the truth? Could be equally true. So,
I mean, it's buried in a TWAB somewhere, but I swear that they said,
yeah, I mean, I'm making the point that they referred to Lord Saladin and Valis Forge as both of his names in like back-to-back tweets. So, right. There's no real way to know what exactly to expect, is my point. So I'd say pick up your bonus stuff before Tuesday. And then, hey, if they don't actually move, great. And if they do, then you're all set. Because Bungie doesn't know. You don't know. I don't know.
I don't know now.
Nobody knows.
Oh, I swear that they said that the Renegades was going to be the 9.1.5.
Yeah, I mean, there was lots of questions around, okay, well, this is coming out this date, so is this the next big update, or do we have another one?
Well, the only reason I say that is because we're still in the last update that we got was 9.1.0.2. So normally it goes 9.0.1.3 or 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, they're jumping up a big increment. So the zeros disappeared. I'm confused. I really am confused, and I'm trying to look back now to find out where they said it that was the 9.1.5 was going to be the one with Renegades, but I can't.
So something is happening. Either way, to be safe, pick up your bonuses before Tuesday, and then or maybe they just mean the bonuses will. Oh, maybe it's because the bonuses end Tuesday because that was only a single week, and they're not moving until Renegades. But that would have involved a whole second sentence, which we simply don't have time for.
No, and you can't on Bungie.net when you type in it's got a little search thing. You type it in. Sometimes it'll come up. Oh yeah, this was in a previous 12. Sometimes it's like, nope, don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, I read it. I saw it. I know it's there somewhere.
Yeah, never heard of this before in our lives. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, so 9.5.0 is when Renegades launches. So we're going to get to 9.5.0 for Renegades, but the 9.1.0 is the Ash and Iron launch. So maybe the updates are going to be different.
I mean, they do seem the numbers do seem to jump when they change expansions or seasons or whatever. I'm sure it's some internal number increment, but
9102 is the recent one, but it looks like it's going to jump to 9.1.5 at some point, so it's going to skip all those incremental little bits out. But
it's probably our next main version 9.1 whatever, and then we go however many patches we need there, or who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Is just like, or we could just be speculating for nothing because nothing is real and nothing matters.
Yeah,
but that's the end of our TWAB, and that's the end of our what Bungie had to say for themselves this week. Which wasn't a whole lot. I do appreciate the Mercury's clarifying trials matchmaking because again, I just love it was this. If you're on this passage, here's all the rules. If you're on this passage, it's random. Just good luck. Try to get to the lighthouse. Go for it.
Yeah.
We do have some videos. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not going to include any of the ones that talk about cheaters or any issues that we've had this week. I will include the unstable cores glitch for free infusion bug from Choose Forever because that was interesting. And I will also include the one I was talking about earlier, which is the no BS guide from Llama, how to complete the epic Desert Perpetual raid. But I mean, you do need to have done the original one and do the original one to understand how to do this one. So, because it all looks confusing to me.
Yeah.
What about you?
I watched a good bit of things this week. Let's see. We have. I watched. I'm trying not to watch the guys of hey, I'm taking a step away from this game that I've given a decade of my life to because. People can do other things. It's fine. I did watch Life's hour and 40 minute.
I heard about it. I was going to think about watching it.
technically like retrospective. I mean, it was sort of nice. He sort of did his like top five like basically like his like top five highest highs, and then like his like top five or I guess bottom five like lowest lows over the last decade, which is just like a whole. It's interesting, people coming with that perspective of like, I've been here for a long time. And he talks about, this is sort of the job he's had. Like, this has been his job, as our lore daddy, as, he was named in one of his, I think, Twitch, redemptions or something. But yeah, basically, it's what it feels like to be a Destiny fan, a retrospective, and a rant. And it really is just like laying out like sort of his, last 10 years of his life and career in this game, which again, just someone coming with that perspective and that peace and calm to it was just, I just put it again, I basically treat it like a podcast. You don't really need to watch. It's, I put it on the background and listen to it. But again, it's interesting people coming with that perspective. And yeah, it's not clickbaiting. It's not trying to scream about things. It's just, hey, here's how this feels. Like there's a lot of sadness in this, in addition to, obviously the way things are right now. And then it was Scarrow 9. The portal makes me sad. Just sort of talking about, just the decision fatigue of, hey, I jump into the portal and I'm looking forward to making a whole bunch of decisions on how to do this and what I want to change. And yeah, so just, I mean, like not really a rant, but just sort of a, hey guys, this is tiring. I wish I could just go play my game and have fun. But again, just, a level-headed, critique in a way, not, screaming about things. And then I have to include, I did have to go find the original. Caden, Caeden, had, movie of the week, Iron Banner, full lobby of AFK bot farmers. Because I had seen Lucky 10P talk about it. I had seen Astacross talk about it. So I was like, let me go find the actual, original creator of this. And yeah, it's wild to come across an entire lobby. Oh, on the other team, to load into an Iron Banner game, and there's just 6 people, or 6 accounts loading in and like just jumping and stuff, like just not playing at all. It's just a wild thing to see. So that's worth including just for a laugh. And I don't remember, I was trying to remember, I didn't look at the date on this one. Llama testing all 4 new armor set bonuses. They're okay. I can't remember if it came out last week or no, maybe that was the meta, that was the mods.
That was the meta mods last week that you included, yeah.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, it was the meta mods last week. So yeah, so Llama has tested, all 4 new armor set bonuses, and are they worth using? So, I mean, yes and no, depending. They're fine. There's not like, oh my god, you must have this one. But hey, the new armor sets, it's a good explainer on what they are, how they work, and just if it's worth using them or not. A couple of different people talked about this one, but also in Ace's video, it's actually real. After 10 years, it's finally in the game. Which again is just alluding to the epic raid. That whole like, I don't know, passageway conduit thing that they go through, like I guess to get to that final boss room, was teased like way back in, Destiny 1, and was like on, possibly as something on, he goes back and shows like the Destiny 1 roadmap, what Bungie had on the horizon, and things that we never got, or maybe they were renamed, wasn't, something that they built for one of those environments. Just hey, after 10 years, it's here now. They use it for the epic raid, which is just just neat to see. Hey, this was a thing that was teased a million years ago, because there's always something out there people are working and building on. And then another video, if you just want to sit and put this on in the background, Kamikaze in his series of, hey, I'm making this video for you commuters or people doing the dishes or mowing the lawn or whatever. He has the, do you really need a PowerPoint to explain Armor 3.0? Yes. And he talks about Armor 3.0 in a PowerPoint. So, I mean, you can watch it. He does have visuals, PowerPoint style, or you can just listen to it of him saying, hey, do you need Tier 5 armor to do things? Is this a requirement? And just, how, again, how the game works, how the armor works now that we've fixed the regen on Grenade and Melee, things should actually work how you spec into them now. And finally, because I saw it late in the day yesterday and I couldn't resist, Maven has the delete everything by doing nothing, the low IQ build. You can guess for what character, and you can guess which exotic is involved. It basically uses our Actium War Rig and our new Unwavering Duty and just spawns ammo generation. I mean, just absolutely bricks flying everywhere. It literally is just, hold W, press button, destroy things. It's a Solar Titan build that's, brain dead easy. And who doesn't love a brain dead easy build where you just want to melt things and then set them all on fire? So yeah. I will mention too, Patreon emailed earlier this week to say, hey, we're going to turn this thing on to harass all the people that have ever signed up and beg them to come back. And I said, maybe not. Maybe don't do that. So I think I turned it off in time. If you are A, still hearing the sound of my voice, and B, either signed up as a free Patreon or were a patron at some point and Patreon, bugged you to say, oh, come back, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. Sorry, we've turned it off now. I've seen a bunch of creators basically being like, hey, tell your communities this is something Patreon has turned on, and just dropped an email to say, oh, by the way, we've turned on this nag thing for everybody, for every account. So if you've been bugged by other people's Patreons, it's not necessarily them begging you for money. It's Patreon going, we're going to turn this on and you have to go turn it off. And yeah, surprise. Patreon, you're not helping. Quit it.
No.
But who is helping and who shouldn't quit it? Bernard Gallant, the man who can't be threatened with a good time, riding around with all his kitty cats through the streets, having a great time.
He's got more kitty cats coming up in the Eververse this next couple of weeks.
Oh, more. Did you get them more kitty cats? Ooh. Well, I know who else would be thrilled. Our grenade throwers of Golden God 1562 Noble, the man Conan from Texas, and Feral. I don't know how they feel about kitty cats, but I know they love throwing grenades, because honestly, who wouldn't? And we love all of our patrons. And we're not, we here at the Two Titans and a Hunter podcast aren't harassing you. Patreon might, but hey, we just harass you out of good-natured fun in the Discord and tell you about every cat thing that you have to buy, and then watch you slowly moan, and then watch your Bright Dust and Silver reserves just go lower and lower and lower. We're not here to actually help Bungie in any real way. We're just here to buy, because really it's all about cosmetics. And until next week, when we'll probably have more cosmetics, thank you for joining us. Your Titans, your Peroty, and Nitedemon. You can find this show wherever you get your podcasts. Wherever you want to be, just search the Two Titans and a Hunter. You can email the show, twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. You should subscribe to YouTube for every new episode, every 8-1 video, Eververse goods. Get your bets in for what Crucible is going to happen. When are changes happening? What are changes? When do things get pushed? Who knows? We're going to try to tell you. You can tell us if we're wrong or right. Get your bets in now. We'll start running some odds. We'll throw 3-day parlays in, which I don't know what that is. But it seems like the entire world wants you to gamble on things. So maybe we'll add some gambling. Why not? It's like loot boxes, but even less fun. You can find this show and all of our show notes at twotitansandahunter.com. All the links we talk about, all the videos we put in, all that stuff lives there. And if you do want to join the Auto Dance Group, threaten us with a good time, throw more grenades, patreon.com/TTAH. If you're looking for more casual encounter, coffee.com/twotitansandahunter. And if you want to see what the nice British man is up to, twitch.tv/twotitansandahunter. He's up to something. I tell you and won't tell you what, but it's something. You should go check it out. And for no other reason, press the button, follow along there, because, you can jump in, enjoy hijinks together. Who doesn't love a hijink? Until next week, Demon, tell the people goodbye.
Goodbye.
Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.